Welcome back. It's Janet at JRK Handcrafted. Um, I finally got around to looking at this Frightfully Fun Times scrapbooking workshop kit. Um, I pulled it out. Actually, I just wanted to kind of show you something. I picked these up on Amazon, and there's two actual styles. And they kind of alternate between whether they're available or not. Sorry for the glare. One of them has this kind of closure on here, which is okay. It holds everything together, but you have to kind of stick it in there. This one, which I like better, actually has, whoops, I got it upside down here, actually has a stamp, or excuse me, a snap, which holds everything together. And they are great for holding your kits together, your cardstock, any of your leftover sheets. So when I'm finished with a collection, I will put the leftovers in there, and then when I get a chance, I'll go back and I'll create a new page, whether it's a double page layout or just a single page layout. But everything's together. I still have the workshop instructions in there, so I do find them quite helpful. I will put them in the description of this video in case you happen to be looking for them. So anyways, this is the Frightfully Fun Times workshopping kit. Obviously, if you're looking at the front here, and again, I apologize for the glare, very much the traditional Halloween colors. The oranges, the blacks, the whites, the grays, the background grays. I kind of like the oranges and the purple, so I may actually add some purple in here somewhere. But let's go through it right quick here. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to follow the workshop guide exactly, or if I'm going to kind of step it up or change it completely. But anyways, I wanted to show you this before I kind of broke everything down. So first off, we've got some, and I think all the pattern papers here are single-sided. So, and obviously this one would be used for a background. You might want to gut that out and save some of that paper. So there's 2 sheets of that. There are, well, here's a sheet of borders, which are really cool. You can use them anyway. This little ghosty thing is really sweet. Spiders, not so keen, but I mean, they're part of Halloween. So, and of course the spider webs and the bats. So great, great borders there. And then you've got this gray with white spider webs on it. And there are 2 of these. And I believe this is used as a background for the first 2 suggested layouts in this kit. So again, you may decide to do something with those, or I may. And I may even cut them on a diagonal so that I can get a couple of extra layouts out of this paper, because it's pretty neutral. So it would work with a lot of different layouts. And then you've got your berry orange. So the colors that would go with this kit are the Cajun Craze, the Pumpkin Pie, the Timid Tiger, Very Vanilla, and of course your White Willow, which you could use as background or for your mats. So you've got this really cool ghosty bat, very Halloween type paper. And then you've got this one, which is very nice. The orange with the kind of off-white stars. And is there 2 of those? I think there's just one of those. And you can see on the back here the cutting instructions. The fact that the lines are on here now, Stampin' Up has the lines for your cutting, makes it easier to cut the diagonal, because this doesn't necessarily fit in your paper cutter. So this gives you this, so you can lay it on a mat and cut it with a blade, or you can just cut it with your scissors. So that comes in really handy. So we kind of figure out what that's going to be used for, and that's for the triangles. And then you've got a black with the black background, which is kind of distressed, and then it has the white swirls and the kind of hand-drawn stars on there as well. So that's kind of cool. And then here's the cats, and they are just oh so cute, and they have hats on them. And this does come, you can get the stamp set to go with this, and the cats are all part of the stamp set. And of course there's some really great sentiments as well. I will maybe at the end show pictures of those and the links to all those as well at the in the description of this. Now here's another one. This one looks a little bit different. Let me just have a look. Oh, maybe. No, I guess it is the same. Let me turn this up here. I guess it is the same. So you got 2 sets of these. So you've got lots and lots that you can add to additional pages. And then I thought for originally these were cardstock, but they're just like I said, per the colors that I mentioned before, um, they're single-sided. So I would, if I'm using these, I would either gut them out so that I could get some mats out, picture mats. Geez, I'm having trouble kind of separating these. Hang on one sec. Okay. So you've got kind of like the timid tiger. You would have your basic black here, and then your deep gray, and then your pumpkin pie, and then your white willow cardstock, which you have. Well, these are kind of out of order, so we've got another light orange here, and then you've got your white willow here. So then we get into the punch outs. Okay, so in this case, we've got some great sentiments here. You've got the cats. They have a fairly big white border on them. I may trim that down. You've got your ghosties, which you may not see here on camera, and this really cool tree, which will let me see where they use it here. Yeah, so they use it in this C layout here. I usually take these all apart and put them in a tray so that they're easy to find, to kind of separate them out. And then here's another sheet of punch outs here as well, which have the tombstone, the cats. Again, they just punch out. And they do come with a kind of a little thing there that I usually just cut off. So you've got great places for journaling, or you could do journaling there, or you could make this a base for an embellishment cluster. Fright Night, this great banner here is great. And then the fence, of course. I would almost be tempted. Do they use it all in one? They do. But yeah, you could certainly use that somewhere else as well. And last and not least is the sticker sheet. So this sticker sheet is great. It's got the bats, it's got the spiders, it's got some titles here, which would be great for card making as well. And then you've got a bunch of wordy bits up here. So October 31st, candy, costumes. So you get all kinds of places where you can put that. You've got some little ghosties. You've got some tabs here that you could stamp a date on if you wanted to. And the kittens and a spider web. And then a couple of different borders here. And this dotted border is kind of cool. Yeah, so it would be really neat too. And I may just cut these out so that I can randomly put them on my layouts as I'm building them, to make sure that they're where I actually want to put them. There's a bunch of white stars here too. You can't see those either. Maybe can. But that's the kit. So that is called the Frightfully Fun Times kit, and it comes with everything that I've shown you here, plus all the instructions. So great if you just don't have any mojo going. Great if you want to just sit down, cut them out, organize them, and then get ready to create your pages. Anyways, I'll be back and to show you what I've done with this workshop kit. And yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I've cut out all my pieces, and I did look at the layouts, and I actually really like the layouts that they have here. So I think I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I may change up or add some embellishments here, but so this is what I've done. This is where those envelopes come in handy. I've put each of the, now I haven't put the ephemera in here, but I have put all the cut paper in here. So this is everything for the double layout A and B and C. And you'll see on the back, if I can, yeah. So you see on the back here, you can see this is letter B, letter B. So I've just put them, sorry if you can see that with the glare. I've just put them in the corresponding kind of plastic holders here. Super helpful for keeping everything organized. I do have one main folder that the kit originally I had it housed in. So what I'll end up doing is I will, you know, after I'm finished creating the layouts and using the maps to do so, I'll put that back in here. But here is, just as an example, here's the leftover paper I have. So there's lots and lots here, and especially the borders. There's lots and lots of borders here to create multiple more pages. Um, Lots of paper. And if you just added, say, some cardstock, um, maybe some pattern paper from another version, or um, found some embellishments that would go with this. There's lots and lots here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in that original plastic envelope I had, just to store them away. That way I'll always know which collection they came from. So if I'm creating something down the road, I can kind of let you know where I use that or where I got that paper from. So if you happen to have this collection, you can do the same thing. So this will be set aside. I do have all my embellishments punched out. Um, all the punch outs here, the larger ones are in here. This again is a it's just an organizer that goes in my rolly tote that I got from Michael's, and I think it's tidy. Oh, I don't have the label still on this one. I wonder if I do on this one. Oh yeah, okay. It's tidy. This is a project tray from Simply Tidy. So I find this really handy. So it keeps everything together. Again, stuff isn't falling on the floor. It's not kind of getting swept away from breezes from a fan or whatever. I've cut up all the stickers as well. So all these cats here are all stickers. Now, I didn't cut them exactly, because but I do want to use them, and this is a punch out. And again, this has the letters on the back where you put them. The stickers unfortunately don't, but I mean the pictures are good enough that you should be able to tell. Anyways, all of these are there. I could take these and put them in each of those envelopes, but I may just wait. I may move some of them around. So I kind of want everything here kind of at my disposal. And these are the little wordy bits that are in the sticker sheet. I've left them as one big pack. I can pull them out whenever I need them. So I thought I would stop before I started putting anything together and just show you a really great way to organize everything before you actually start doing your process of putting your scrapbook pages together. Anyways, I hope that helps. I don't know if I can put a link here, but again, I did get this from Michael. So if you find that this might be something that you might find helpful, because your little pieces tend to go missing, then this might be of real help. Anyways, when I get some of the pages going, we'll be back. Okay, so I'd like to walk you through something here before I go further with the first two pages of the layout. So they have the gray spider web base page here, or base piece behind each of the ghosty paper. And as I said, I was kind of thinking I would like to have a little bit of purple in there. So what I've done is I've taken one of the sheets and put it in one of my splatter boxes. And this paint, I don't know, I got it off Amazon, but it looks really, really pretty on dark colors. The colors just shimmer and shine. And I do have a purple puck of paint in there. And as I'm showing you here, I just wanted to go where the orange paper isn't. So I'm going to try to splatter it as best I can. Thank goodness I don't have any paper down, so I can really splatter it anywhere. But I'd like to concentrate on the first one, either the bottom and a little bit on the top, and on the second page, more on the top and a little bit on the bottom. Now, as I'm doing this, I think I might have watered down the paint a little bit more, and this brush just is not the best brush. It's so small, and the paint to start out with is pretty liquidy, so it's not really gelling up to be a solid color per se. So I'm doing my best to try to splatter it where I can, and you'll notice that I have a white shirt on, and I happen to be having to go out to an appointment after this. So as I'm splattering just hither thither, I'm also trying to keep myself at least a little bit tidy and not have purple speckles all over me, when I go to my appointment. But anyway, as I'm doing this, it's starting to thicken up a little bit, and the pigment, is coming through a little bit more. Um, and maybe I should have put it on a glass block or something and done it with my fan brush, but I was already doing it at this point, so I thought, "Oh, well, I might as well just keep going." So I tried to kinda splack it off my, splack, is that a word? Anyways, I tried to tap it off my, silicone tool here, and, it helped a bit, and once it thickened up, it helped up a little bit, and I think you can maybe see some of the splatters there. Hopefully, when it dries, those splatters will show up. I don't want them to be like in your face, just kind of there to add a little bit of texture and color. And I'm going to show you a little bit later on what I've done to a few of the ghosts in there as well. So, once I'm done splattering this one, and I think, like you said, at this point, the paint is starting to thicken up a little bit, so the colors are kind of showing a little bit more. But I'll set this one aside, and then I'll pick up the other one, and I'll do the same thing. And like I said, I think they showed up a little bit better there. Um, yeah, so I'm just showing you where I'm going. The tool that I'm using, actually, I picked up on Amazon as well, and, the tip of that is silicone, so I use that a lot of times to pick up my sequins or my gems or whatever and place them. I find they work really well, and they came in a set of 2. So, I find those really, really handy. Again, if I can round up, the Amazon link that I got it to, I will certainly put it in the base description of this video. So you look like I'm getting pretty darn heavy-handed here. I'm kinda like I'm really kinda giving that silicone thing a whack here and there, but, hopefully, all this will be worthwhile when it dries and we get the other paper on to accent it. So, like I said, I will try to find the links for both the silicone, I call it a brush, but the silicone brush and, and the paints here, because they really do look nice on the dark colors. Now I know this is only gray, but, I still think that, the little splatters of purple should show up there. So at this point, I'm just gonna go and clean my stuff up, and I'm back, and now I brought just a little kinda baby silicone mat that I've kinda cut out of another chunk, and, I pulled out 3 of the ghosts. 2 of them, the ones that's there, you can see that has the letter A on the back, so we know that that's for the first layout. So these little ghosties here are just white, they were the pop outs. Their little, faces, their eyes and whatever pop out, I haven't popped them out at this point, I just left them in while I was gonna start doing my shading. So I'm just using a Distress Oxide here with just a brush, and I'm gonna just brush this on. I'm gonna use this kinda pen that I have to hold them down so they don't get, ink all over myself. I'm pretty good at that. And I don't really care, um, if the ink is all blended well. I don't mind if it has a little bit of a mottled look. I mean, these are ghosts, so, they don't have to be completely done. They can be kind of a little, like I said, have a little mottled look. And I think they'll show up good on this page. And I'm only doing the 3. So the little ghost there, that's a sticker, and he's got a little face on him. So his face doesn't punch out like the other ones on the paper. So I'm gonna do this one here, and I'm getting a little bit braver now. I'm gonna, try to do it without, getting my hands a mess. And, once I'm done that, I'm just gonna kinda briefly show you what I did with the little ghosty that's the sticker. Um, I'm just gonna grab a pen. This silicone mat is great. It's just a little wee piece, so it doesn't take up much room, and, yeah, so I'm just gonna put my Distress Oxide away, and then I'm just gonna pick up a Sharpie, just a fine point black Sharpie, and then what we're gonna do is we're just going to turn around and just go over top of the little face that's on that ghost, just to make it stand out, because even before I had put the ink on it, the little face didn't really show up that well. So I'm just going over it with like I said, a black Sharpie, a fine point black Sharpie, and just kind of bringing his little face out a little bit more so it's more distinct. Um, and he's got a happy face, so that's cool. So I will set those everything aside to dry, and then I'll be back with and we can start the first page of that 2-page layout. I think for the rest, I'm just going to the other 2-page layouts, I may just put them together and then show you what they look like at the end. But for now, and if there's any other inking or any additional things that I decide to do, I'll bring them up at that time. Anyways, stay tuned. Okay, so I've gathered together everything I need for this first page here. Okay, so my photo mats, my page title, and some of my wordy bits, that type of thing, plus the cutout papers that I have. And what I'm going to do though first, before I lay down this ghosty paper, I am going to ink the edges. Just to, I don't know, the gray paper is very neutral, so I just kind of want to, and I'm not going to ink here because that will come together in the middle of the 2 pages. So I just kind of, I want to add a little bit of differentiation between the 2 papers. I just think that adds a little bit. Now this is to come down an inch on the paper here, and then this is to slide right up. So that nice kind of stripe there looks like piano keys. That kind of gives a nice border in between. So let's lay those down. Okay, let's make sure our page is straight here. Okay, and let's lay those down at about the 11-inch mark here. And I do have, I'm not sure you can see it, but earlier when I put on the purple, I don't know if you can see the purple kind of glitter there that we kind of splotched on, but it's not in your face, but it just adds a little bit of depth and texture to the page. Yeah, here we are. And then we'll just add this here. Right, so we'll just butt this right up against that ghosty paper. Whoop. There we go. Okay. So then down here, we've got this spooktacular title for our page, and they kind of give you an idea that you're, oh, see, now I'm going to ink this as well. Again, I mean, it is Halloween, black and orange, and of course for me, a little purple as well. So we're just kind of grunge this up a little bit. It is fairly light, so this will just add some texture. And I'm just using my distress ink from Ranger on there. So again, you don't have to be exact. As long as we put it here, it looks like it might be about there. And then this piece here will go across. So the only thing you have to be cautious of is that you don't put it so close to the edge that this has to go off. So I would just kind of move it in a little bit there. And I'll sometimes use my my ruler, which I don't have right there on my desk, but I'll use my Tim Holtz ruler or any ruler that's got a grid on it to say, okay, if I want to come up an inch on my page, I will just put that down on the inch mark, and I will use that as an example. And this is to come up an inch. So, and you could also use it for your inch away from the side. So if you were to, I'll go with the 11 here and go up the inch. So if I was to come in an inch, I would want to come in the 10 on the ruler there. So that will give me, you know, a pretty good guideline to use when I'm putting down my pages or my papers. And I'm going to just do the inside of here in case I have to tuck anything behind it. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this. I'm going to use my 10 inch and my 11 inch, or sorry, my 10 inch here. Okay, so I'm 10 inch here, which is an inch away, and I've got an inch up there. So that looks good. Except, yeah, okay. I was thinking I'd forgotten, should have put this behind, but it goes right over top actually. And I'm going to ink that as well. So you don't have to ink your edges, obviously, that's not in there, but on a lot of my layouts, I like to do the 1 inch, or sorry, I like to do the inking. It just really makes a distinct difference between the paper you're laying down on and the paper you're laying down. So I think we can just put it right there is fine. So let's just take that down. And I don't think it has any, no. So there's no directional pattern in it, so we can pretty much lay it down wherever we like. Okay, let's put it there. And then our title will go right here. And I don't think I think I'll leave that flat down, but I don't know whether I should ink that or not. Let's do it. It's got a fairly large white border around it, so this will just kind of make it more consistent with what we're doing with the rest of the page. Okay, I like that a lot better. Okay, so let's just put this down. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up the little ghosties. So yeah, let's just put that down and we'll kind of stick it there somewhere. Okay, now we've got here we've got our Happy Halloween coming down there, which is a sticker, which I've already cut out. So we'll just put that down below, and I don't think there's anything behind it, no. So okay, I guess we started. Let's continue with the inking. I could have had this inked up. Well, no, I couldn't have on the sticker. Then I would have had to lay it down. Okay, so they've got that right about there. Okay, now let's add our little ghosts, and let's see. And if we can remember, we've got let's get my little pokey tool here. Let's see, we'll use this one. Okay. I'll poke out his little eyes and his little mouth. So we've got, I think he's going to go up here. And we have a little white guy with a smile down below. So let's pop his face out, I guess you could say. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so he looks like he'll go there, and then we have a little tiny one, which would be a sticker, and he looks like he has a smiley face, but we could use him, I guess, and use the little white one. Yeah, he's up here. So then at the top, I just want to make sure we've got enough for everything. At the top, we've got a little one. This is on the opposite page. Oh no, sorry, this page. We've got that and this little guy. Save that guy for the other page. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we've got little purples, kind of one up here and one down here. And then I think we might have one left over for the other page. Okay, so let's stick our little ghosties down. I'm kind of thinking I might want to ink those up just a little bit. Not a lot, just enough to give them some depth. Okay, so he will go here. And this little guy will ink him up as well. And this one here is from the punch outs. These two are from the sticker sheet. Okay, so we'll just put a little ink on those. Let me grab my ink. Ah. My pin stuck in. So let's just use a little tape. There we go. That should do anyway. Okay, take that tape off. Okay, and he goes just down below here. He's kind of looking up, smiling. About there. And then we've got our little purple guy, which, yeah, you know what? I think he looks really good when he's got that black around him. So, okay. And then he goes down there kind of hanging out. All right. So at the top here, I'll have to get my glue fixed here so I can get the other ones down. So on the top is where we basically have our mats. This one will go straight up and down. And then the other two will go off at an angle. So let's get him taped down. And I inked the edges of this as well. This was the black paper that came with the kit. But when it was cut, because it's got a white core, there was a little bit, so I inked that around there with the distress ink as well. And for this, I'm going to grab my tea roller. Okay. And it looks like he comes down a little bit past the ghosty border. So, and if we put him in the middle, 6 inches is there. Let's move him up just a bit. Okay, there we go. So that's him. And then we've got this one that tucks in a little bit there. So personal, you'd be able to stick your photo in behind. So let's stick him in. And I think he goes about at an angle like that. Okay, and then we've got the other one, which goes along the other side. And he will go, he'll tuck in here. Kind of like that. He's not at quite as much of an angle. Okay. So again, I had gathered my some of my embellishments here together. So this is supposed to fit under here, but you know what? I think I'm gonna cut that because it's not a pull-out. I'm gonna cut it so that and I can just do that with a pair of scissors, because I might be able to use this somewhere else in my layout. So let me see if I have. I think I probably, yeah, there we go. Let's just put a little bit of tape on that. Okay, and let's stick that just out like that. And then we've got our October, but we have our little wee pieces here. Move that little bead here that came off my pin from my glue. So there was this little weenie strip that was cut for the back of this sticker. It says the 31st. So we're going to put those on. Which way do they have? I guess this one's going straight down. And this one is kind of going off to the side a bit, which is fine. And then they're going to sit not sure I like that. Maybe we're going to be able to get a photo in there. So maybe I'll just pop that up with a dimensional. And yeah, with just a couple of dimensionals. I'm just nervous that you wouldn't be able to get the photo under there. Let's just put a few of these on. There we go. And maybe that'll there. Then you should be able to tuck your photo in behind there. You know what? I'm not so sure I like that, because I don't have the photos yet for this, so I may just leave that aside for a second. Yeah, and I don't like the October going over it either. So maybe we could do something up here instead. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, I think I'll put it up there. And then this October, I could have probably taken those off again, but that's fine. Then this October, we'll find some place for that. Now the ghosts, let's take the eyes out of the ghost, or the face, remove the extra for that. Okay, and let's give him a little bit of a shadow as well. Okay, and then we'll just put him, I'm going to put him up here. And I know he's on the ghosty paper, but I'm going to put him there. And then this guy, I think I'll put him over here. There we go. So the only thing I have, we've got, let's see, where can we put this October that's not going to interfere? I guess we can, I don't really like it there. Maybe there. It's too much next to that. Okay. I guess it could be October 31st, so maybe it goes up by the 31. Okay, so let's put him here. Like, I don't mind him there. Okay, October 31, and then they have Fright Night on there. Fright Night. So it's on our kind of little wordy but section here. And let's put that down there. Okay, so I think that's all complete now. We've put our ghosts in a little bit different place, and because we don't have our photos, I didn't want to cover this up with the 31. So we just kind of moved it up. We've inked everything pretty much with Distress ink, and I think that is the anyway, not sure. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the second page on this, and I'll come back and show you that, and I'll do the other two layouts as well, and I'll come back and show you any changes that I made. So we'll see you shortly. Okay, so we're back. So I'll go through the actual layouts here with you, and I'll try to point out maybe some of the changes I might have made to these. So we already talked about this particular page and the fact that we put the 31 up here, which was different than here, only because I didn't have photos to go there, and I didn't want them to interfere with my photos here. Um, and we put the so we put the October there and the Fright Night there, which originally were down here over top of here, and these were stickers. These all were stickers, so I didn't really want to put them down here and impede putting our photos there. We have the couple of the purple ghosts on here, and we do have some of the glitter here that I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, a little bit there. So we've got that on both sides actually. And then over here, I stuck pretty much to the same plan. This here I left open so we can slide the photo under there. Actually, it would go under there. And I did pop the trick or treat. I didn't put it up where it was on here. I popped it up and I put it down lower, so it's only popped up here, so that you can, when you're ready to put your photo in there, you can slide it under there, and slide it under there might be a little bit tricky. Sorry, this is not the right orientation, but so that you can place your photo in there. The boo is popped up. The same wordy bits here, but not, they're off the photograph. This little bit here, and then the ghost. So, and then some room here for journaling. So that's basically what I did with the first layout. I only changed it slightly, but I really like the layout. I think the photos will show up really good once we decide what we're going to put there. Okay, I'll tuck that aside. And next we have the second layout here. And I did change that a little bit too. So the wordy bits here that are here, I put those over here. And the spider I moved up a bit again. Oops, sorry. The spider, let me get to the page here. Maybe it can show you a little bit better. Okay, here we go. The spider that was to go over here, again, it was a sticker, so I kind of just pushed it up a little higher. I do have everything here the same. However, the wordy bits that are here, I moved over here. Again, they're stickers, and I did not want them to overlap here because I didn't have a photo yet. The same with the cat. I did not, in any of these things up here, I left them up so that we could put a picture in there. And of course, I put the 3x3 here. And I put the candy trick or treat here instead of overlapping the picture. So a lot of what I had to do with the fact that I didn't have the photos to put down there. So I try to strategically place things around. Now you will notice here, I kind of felt this was a little bit bare up at the top here, even though it had the stars. So I didn't have anything I could use there. I had an old stamp in my stash that was just the bats. So I turned around and I just stamped those on there, and I carried it over here. Even though this is the starred side of the picture, I still carried it over there just so that it was a bit consistent. And then everything else pretty much is the same. So you've got your journaling here, and on this side, Wicked Good Time, I did not want to place it in here because our pictures were kind of close together. So I chose to put the Freaky and the Party in here as opposed to over here on the side. I inked everything. The mats, everything I've inked. This white paper here, the pattern paper is all inked. The pop outs are inked. So tried to do those similar. Excuse me. Now I didn't do this whole grouping here. I just have this one cat here, which I kind of basically took from there, and I took that cat and put it up there. So I moved it around just to suit my preference, again, because I didn't have the pictures. Now I have some leftovers, which I'll show you at the end, that I may go back and be able to embellish that a little bit more. But that's our second layout. And our third layout, which has a lot of ephemera on it. Okay, so our third layout here, which has a beautiful border around here, I did try to keep this pretty much the same. So here I did put the eek in there. And again, apologize that this is in the wrong orientation, but I did leave this open. Now I'm going to have to be selective on the photo I put there, or whoever uses this puts there, because you're going to have this on there. So I would probably have something that goes here, or I may end up just putting a 3x4 here and maybe putting some pattern paper on this side, just because if I don't have anything that will work with those branches. The rest of it is all pretty much glued down. The fence is the way it is. Again, everything is inked up, and where it has this going over the photo, I've just moved it aside over here. And I've got the moon and the 2 bats and the 1 bat down here. Those were all stickers. And then when we scooch over here, again, I had to modify. I don't have the photos. These are stickers. I could have taken the sticky off the back and put them down lower, but I thought being up here was just fine. And I have the same bat here. The papers are glued down. However, this, excuse me, is up on dimensionals, and this is not. This is not glued right down where the picture goes. So your pictures can go right underneath there. Your 4x4s, and the headstone is not glued down either. So, and then where it has these 3 little wordy bits here, I've actually put them on here. I know that's a journaling spot, and I may end up going over here, and because that's pretty blank, I may end up putting some journaling there, but I'm just not sure, what or where or who's going to do this. So I may just make up a nice journaling sheet and put there. But other than that, everything else pretty much is the same here. So that's the 3 layouts pretty much done up the way they said. I really like the inking on these. I think it just helped with any white core items that were there. So let me show you what I have left here. And this will easily make another page, because I have a bunch of ephemera too. So I've got a good bit of this orange. I've got some great borders left. I have some cats in the proper direction, and I love this. I love this black stripe. I do have some white and lots of the starry paper, and again, lots of cats. So I've got more than enough. If I accent this with some background, different colored cardstock, maybe a deeper orange or whatever, or just even white, and maybe distress it. So I have lots I can work with here. And as far as the ephemera goes, I have the banners there. I have this really nice 3 or 4 or 5 strips here, sticky strips, and then I still have some wordy bits there that are also stickers. And I have bats, I have cats, I have all kinds of things here, and I have a couple of things here that I have the spider web, and some things, the Halloween or the boo, could be titles for another page. I will not be showing that in this video. Maybe what I'll do is any of the ones that I make from the leftovers from these, I might just do a page share with those. But as you can see, it's really great value. You can do more than just a 3-page double or 3 double layouts that give you the instructions. Use your imagination. Use these up. Use them in cards. Use them in something. But for me, leaving them in the plastic envelope works really super good. Then I know exactly what I have left, and if I'm looking for something in those color choices, or I need to put together a quick card, I've got everything what I need. Well, like I said, anything that I use today, I'll try to put a link in there. I will put the link in there as well to the stamp set and everything that went with this bundle or this suite, just in case you're interested. That this is available now. as of, what are we, August 13th. So this is available to order now. So if you want to get a head start on your Halloween stuff for your kids or for your pages, yeah, give it a go. Anyways, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you stuck with me till the end. And if you would be, looking for this particular um, paper pack or stamps or dies, please visit my Stampin' Up website and feel free to shop there. And if you have any questions, please drop me a note. Thanks so much, and you have a great day.